Good to be back at home this week. Obviously a little bit of a mixed bag on our road trip, but certainly happy to be able to get the win at UTEP. Probably from where we started the New Mexico State game. Everything was kind of a process to kind of position ourselves. That was obviously, we dug ourselves a hole, and that was a challenge. But I thought from, the last 30 minutes or so of that game, Friday into Saturday, I thought we had a good approach, which led to a good road win at UTEP. So, obviously sitting here in a decent spot with a couple home games here in a row, have a very kind of, very good and, a team that's off to a great start in Missouri State coming in here tomorrow night. They've gotten better and better as the season goes on, and we certainly have our work cut out for us. So we'll work yesterday, today, and tomorrow on getting ready for that, and hopefully we can get a win in front of our home crowd.
Coach, you kind of switched it up at UTEP with that starting lineup. No Tegan, no Grant. Just talk me through, your thought process there and kind of switching up how things were going for the start like that.
Have you seen how we're starting games? So, Tegan and Grant are two of our best players, and I think the world of them. And they didn't do anything wrong other than they were the two constants, it seemed like, in slow starts that we've had the entire year. So, they're two of our best players for sure. We can't dig ourselves a 21-2 hole. For Sam Houston at home, we dug ourselves a hole. At Jacksonville State, we dug ourselves a hole. At Marshall, we dug ourselves a hole. It's been a constant trend. Sometimes, Tegan's a redshirt sophomore. Grant, this is first year playing for us. They haven't done anything to earn it's not their God-given right to be in a starting lineup. It's our job to prepare to win games and do what we need to do. And those are two great teammates, and they're two great winners. And obviously, we're just looking for a change, trying to get off to a better start. We were able to do that, and I thought they both played a very good game.
New Mexico State game, how much of that was them just locked in on their home court, coming out just red hot, and how much of it was you guys just not focused or whatever the issue was?
I'm not sure. I know that it's been a constant trend that we've struggled. It's the third straight road game that we've gotten off to a very, very poor start. So I think there's at least enough of it that's our own fault that we need to figure out. I think every team is confident and plays well at home, and they're an extreme to that for sure. But hey, it's our job to prepare. It's our job to be mentally and physically ready to go, and it's our job to win the game. So, I guess I saw enough of a trend that we've been trying to work on this issue for a long time, and we need to you can't dig yourself 12-2 holes and be a very good basketball team. So it's happened a lot of different times to us, and we need to get off to better starts, and I'm happy we were able to do that versus UTEP.
Coach Terion, back in the starting lineup for the first time since the injury with that UTEP game, how much of a presence does he really have leading these guys on the court?
Yeah, that's the other change that I thought probably got us off to a better start at UTEP. I don't know. He's the leader of the team. He's the point guard of the team. His absence is felt, and his presence is felt as well. So, to me, it was the obvious thing to do. If we're going to play him, my plan was to play him about 20 minutes in each game. There's no reason not to play the first couple to get off to good. By the time he went in at New Mexico State, we were down 14-2, and I thought he leveled us out a little bit. But I don't know. He's a very good point guard, and it's easy to say, well, why don't you have another one? I don't know. When you have a starting quarterback, just so you guys know, it's very hard to recruit and sign another quarterback. And when you have a point guard that's clearly going to be your guy, it's very hard to recruit and sign another point guard. So, and I guess it is what it is in this world. So he's an important part of our team, and we're better. His statistics don't matter. He doesn't care about them. He plays to win. He has more experience winning than a lot of other guys on our team combined. This is his 5th year playing. He's been on 7 teams. If you add up the teams that he's been on in his career, it's a lot of wins. And I think he's kind of a throwback. He started college way before this modern era of college basketball hit. And when you are a traditional point guard, you're judged by wins and losses. It's just like a quarterback is judged. You are judged by wins and losses. Or at least I judge you by wins and losses, and I try to convince the next people at the professional level to judge him by wins and losses, because he's as good as it gets when it comes to that. I thought he really got us off to a good start. I thought he made great plays in the last 4 to 5 minutes of the UTEP game. He just kind of has a way about him to make the easy pass, to make the steal, to get his hands on the ball, to anticipate what's going to happen. And he's certainly the guy that the other guys all look to for that kind of steadying presence. So I think I can't overstate how important he is to us. It's good to have him back, and and he's been feeling pretty good since the weekend. So hopefully I don't foresee any issues, and he should be good to go tomorrow night.
Hey, along those lines, mid-January, have you seen the roles on your team a little more defined? I mean, that kind of stands to reason, but...
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the injuries have just shifted the roles. I mean, we expect to win and succeed no matter who's out there. His presence and absence has shifted that a little bit. I think Teagan can kind of go back to being Teagan, and Mello can go back. Mello is handling the ball a lot, and he's played 16 college games. There's been some times where, like a lot of freshmen, where he's dominant and one of the best players on the floor, and there's some times that he's in some situations he has not been in. So maybe putting him off the ball can help a little bit. LJ, Ryan, and Cam are all very good guards. I wouldn't say anyone's a traditional point guard. So I think with Terion, everybody can kind of get back to their natural roles that we intended for them, and we can build from there. In general, we just need to be more efficient on offense. Our shooting percentage is not what it. Teagan was very efficient last game, and really nobody else was. So I don't know exactly what the word role means. I guess to me it just means you can be the best version of yourself. But we need to find efficiency in what our jobs are on the court. We need to shoot above 50% from 2 and 35 to 40% from 3, and we need to play within ourselves and as a team in order to make that happen.
You got a newcomer coming into Conference USA in Missouri State. They're off to a 4-1 start. Accomplished coach in Quanzo Martin. Just tell me what you see from the Bears coming in here. No,
they've gotten a lot better as the year went on. I think they got off to a little bit of an up and down start and played a very difficult schedule. I don't think they have any bad losses per se, but they've gotten better and better. They have their top 2 scorers are Division II transfers that, have kind of transfer up guys that are excited about playing and have improved and proven to themselves and probably to their team that they're ready. And the big kid, Palick, 11, and then Williams, number 0. They're both Division II transfers that are averaging 17 to 14 or something like that. Osei Bonsu inside is a 6'3", 280-pound 5-man. That's a tank. That's a unique matchup. Those 3 guys play with a lot of confidence. They kind of base what they do probably around them. They have a good point guard in Trey Williams, freshman. Their personnel has grown together, and they kind of play a unique style. They'll do a lot of post-ups, a lot of back-downs. Their 5-man will bring the ball up. A lot of screens for anybody. They're a tough-minded, physical, defensive team, like most teams in our league. So defensively, I'd say it's a little similar to what a lot of teams do, but offensively, it's unique. It's similar a little bit to UTEP in the fact that 3, 4, and 5 are they're kind of some main scorers, but they'll slow it down and try to bully ball you inside and make it a physical game. They're great at getting to the free throw line. They're just a physical, tough-minded team that has been improving fast. So, we have our work cut out for us, and we need to build on where we were on Saturday.
Kennesaw State's kind of on a different wavelength there. They've got Simeon Cottle coming back, one of the top scorers last year. He's the top scorer in the conference this year. How do you kind of game plan to play defense against that? Yeah,
I just watched the Missouri State Kennesaw State game this morning, to be honest with you, and it's very contrasting styles. Kennesaw kind of plays. It's Coach Pettway was at Alabama, so to me it's very similar to how Alabama plays. A lot of threes, very spread out, up and down. Their paces, very very quick. Those dudes play with a lot of confidence. They're all empowered to dribble, pass, and shoot at the first opportunity they get. It's a very different opponent. So I guess I haven't studied Kennesaw in depth, but I did just watch. Kennesaw Missouri State played on Saturday, so I did just watch that game. And you can see the contrasting styles for sure. I think Kennesaw is doing fine. I guess they're 1-3, but 3 road losses and 1 home win. So just like everybody else. So I think they're going to be right there at the end. They have a lot of experience, and obviously we know that they're probably they have as much offensive firepower as anybody in Conference USA.
Then you got Liberty coming in the following Wednesday. That's 3 teams with perhaps 3 very different styles of play. Does that make it interesting for your guys? Is it stressful for you? How do you go about that?
All of this is stressful for me. There's not a lot of days where I feel calm, relaxed, and happy right around January. So, but I don't think it's really stressful for the guys, just so you know. I think they're in the moment. I don't want them to think about all that, to be honest with you. I want them to think about what we need to do, who we are, how we need to get better. Anytime we start thinking about the opponent too much, we seem to struggle. And anytime we think about what we need to do and how we need to play and how we need to improve, we seem to get a lot better. We did less focus on the opponent for UTEP than probably any team we had all year, because that theory that I just shared, I was starting to get pretty on it. And we held them to 56 points, which is as good as we've done all year. We were really good in the Bahamas with a half-a-day prep for South Florida and a half-a-day prep for Wichita State. It seems like when we focus too much on what other teams do, we lose the main. What the other teams do is point number 5, 6, 7, 8, and we start losing the most important thing, and the second most, which is how we play and pass the first open guy and putting ball pressure and making sure we rebound the ball, and making sure we don't turn over the ball, making sure we get a paint touch. And I think that we seem to do a lot better when we focus on what we can control and what they can control. So, yeah, it's I'm aware of all of that, and I know that every game in this league is going to be a challenge, but I want them to just focus on what they need to do, what they can control, play with a free mind, play with confidence, and not get too caught up on what the other teams are and what they're going to do. While respecting that, if they don't understand that every single team in this league can beat you, then we're going to continue to learn the hard way. But I think we've gotten to the point where we do have the right amount of respect for what Conference USA is and for what each and every team, player, and coach is.
Now, you mentioned it, Coach. Road wins across the league have been really hard to come by. You're coming off that split road swing there. Come back for 3 straight home games. How important are these?
Feels to me like every game's important. I think you want to try to, you want to try to take care of home court. I think everybody does. I think our league has I think it's number 1 in home court winning percentage. So if I know for a fact it's number 1 in home court winning percentage. So far, I think home teams are 23-7. So, and I know for a fact that home teams are 23-7. So yeah, it seems like the way, and this is my 3rd year going through the league, it seems like the way to win the league is you take care of business at home and you go about 500 on the road. I think that's been about the way. The last couple of years since the league has changed, since the new version of this league, that's what it has been. But so every game's important. You want to steal as many as you can when you're on the road, and you want to take care of business as much as possible when you're at home. You're not guaranteed to win because you play in Diddle Arena. Not at all. You got to be prepared. You got to. As soon as you take the foot off the gas at all, you're going to have problems. I think we could talk every day about why road teams struggle in this league. I don't really care why everybody else does. I want to make sure we can prepare, and we're trying to figure out how we need to succeed on the road. I'm sure Missouri State's doing the same thing. They have one of the 7 road wins. They won at Delaware. They were down at Kennesaw, but battled back and made it about a 6-point game late in the game. They have some toughness and some grit and some pride, and I'm sure they learned from their experience going to Kennesaw State. So, the games. I think every game is clearly important. I think everything's kind of Liberty's separated themselves a little bit, but everybody else is kind of bungled together right now. So I think that, these next 2 to 3 weeks will cause some separation, and we'll certainly be in a good spot if we can take care of our home court like we have been successful at doing for the most part this year.
You guys put up in the 60s scoring in both those games this past weekend. I'm just wondering, is there a range where you feel most comfortable with your team as far as how many you're scoring and as opposed to how many you're giving up? What would be an ideal score for you other than 100-0?
We need to shoot the ball better from the floor. Our field goal percentage is our weakness right now. We're not turning the ball over. We're crashing the glass. We're doing a lot of the things that go into winning, but we're taking too many difficult 2-point shots, to be honest with you. When we don't know what to do, sometimes we just pull up, and that's not what good teams do. We need to be way more efficient scoring. So I really don't think about number of, Missouri State plays a slow pace, Kennesaw State plays a fast pace, so the points per game is going to change. I would like us to be I'd like us to shoot above 50% from the floor. I'd like us to shoot 40% from three. And I'd like us to turn the ball over about 9 or less times during the game. And I think if you do those things on offense, you're likely to win. On defense, we've been doing these. We need to foul less, and we need to allow less threes. You know, UTEP had 19 out of their first 23 points were either three-pointers or us fouling a three-point shooter, which we need to stop fouling jump shooters. Like, I think you need to control those things. And when you do, you know, the Sam Houston game, when it's 102 to 91, I mean, in an ideal world, you don't want to allow 91 points because you think that's going to be hard to win. And I don't know, I guess La Tech, I guess we won in the 60s the next day, you know, and I thought we, you know, so the team, you know, how each team plays has an impact on that. But I think we just have to control what we control, which is our efficiency, which is trying to get good shots on offense and not turning them, you know, getting one or more good shots on offense and hopefully holding the other team to one or less good shots on defense. So I think when the game comes, you know, it's a very in-the-moment thing, and I don't know, I'd like us to keep getting better on both ends of the floor, but I'm a lot more comfortable when we win by one, no matter what the score is, than when we lose by anything, no matter what the score is.
With that in mind, Hank, did you spend a little extra time looking at that La Tech film? Just the way that game went and the struggles you had, you did pull it out, unfortunately.
Well, we, I don't know. Probably. That was a couple games ago. I know in that game, I thought we played a very good first half, but we relied on the three-point shot a lot. And then in the way that they play, they packed it in, and we go, well, I mean, we went 9 for 18 in the first half from three and 3 for 18 in the second half. And I don't necessarily think those shots are the wrong shots, but we got to have a better awareness to when something's not working, being flexible. To go along with focusing too much on the opponent, sometimes our guys, like when we're doing something, we're a little stubborn to change what we're doing. Nah, coach, we said this is how we were going to. Yeah, I know, but the game's changed a little bit. And I thought we did a good job at UTEP at that, you know? So, like, the second half at UTEP, we switched defenses. I wouldn't say our offense was ever super efficient, but we didn't know what they were going to do. Like, UTEP kind of has a way that they play, but because they're struggling, man, they were switching off the ball more than they ever have. They were switching on the ball. Like, it was, like, they had some desperation to them, and they were changing up what they did consistently. So it was a game that kind of forced us to be in the moment, and we've been good at that. Like, I always go back with these guys to our first road test of the year was an exhibition game at UAB, and they played a different defense every time down the floor, and we handled that so well. I think sometimes when we know that we have to be flexible and adjust, we're good at it, but sometimes when we think we have a plan, we can be too stubborn to change. And obviously this time of year, everybody's trying to win, you know. Missouri State played a 1-3-1 zone the last 6 minutes of the game at Kennesaw to put themselves back in it. Like, they haven't played it a ton this year. Hey, we haven't played a ton of zone this year, but we've done it. I mean, they see the film. We've done it a couple times here to win games in the second half. So I just think we need to continue to learn and to continue to build our confidence at staying in the moment and adjusting to what the situation is with an aggressive mindset, you know? I thought we did a good job the last minute of the La Tech game, going from down 1 to winning that game, to scoring the last 6 points and winning the game. I mean, at UTEP, it's tied at 51, and man, we took 17-5 to win the game, you know? So I think that we've really buckled down here, and I do think once you win a couple games like that, you do get comfortable doing that, you know? We're up by 5, and we ran a kind of a continuity set we have that killed the whole shot clock, and Teagan drove and got an and one, you know? So we've made smarter decisions, I think, as we've learned how to close out those games. So I don't know, a little bit of a rambling answer, but you learn from the whole experience, you learn from the season, and hopefully hopefully you get a little bit of a more confident winning more mentality late in games.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.